Good morning, traders, and this is your Dow Jones technical analysis for today. Okay, so the daily ended up with a little bit of a pin bar off a level, so let's just start with that. So you can see there's our pin bar, pretty much off this level here of 24065, and we'll just pick up on those levels now. And I'll talk about this diagonal trend line shortly. The concern I've got here is I've got a stochastic crossover, and they're both pointing to the downside. Okay, and then I have a MACD stochastic, hasn't crossed over yet, but that does look rather ominous, doesn't it, for a move to the downside. So looking at my oscillators are telling me that we have reached a level and that we should be looking for a shorting opportunity. Okay, so let's just move to the left. Now, these two levels are fairly significant. So the first one, which is 24065, there hasn't been much interaction for it. There was a tail on it. There we were using it as resistance, and here we use it as support. But if I look at the level above that, which is the level I would feel more comfortable with us tagging, which is 24428, look at the amount of interaction we've got at this level. Okay, there's been a lot of interaction at this area. Okay, so that's why they're on the chart. That's why I'm keeping them on the chart as well. They're both fairly significant, and it's something which you just need to keep in the back of your mind that you've got two major levels here. Now, the next thing we need to do is this trend line, which was back in January, downward trend line. This is the one we broke through. We spoke about it yesterday, retested. We've broken through, came back. Was this a retest? Then we broke out again, and now we're on it. Now, if we start going back down to the 3 hour, you'll see that trend line, we broke through it, back, and we're now testing it. Okay, what I don't like about the price action structure at the moment to take a long off this level is, look at my moving averages. I want blue above red, which, remember, this is a 15 and a 50 minutes EMA at the moment. So I want blue above red to indicate that I'm in an upward trend. Red above blue is indication of a downward trend. When they're far apart like this, it always indicates that there's a turn about to happen. This is a turn that's happened. Next thing is Fibonacci. So we have this downward move. We've had a retracement to the 50%. We've rejected off the 50%. Okay, so my bias at the moment is still to the downside. Okay, this channel here has broken as well. I would like to see a little bit of structure forming now. So the structure that I'd be looking for is either a retest of 24065 and a rejection thereof. And we're going to fine tune these levels on the 1 hour now. That would give me the confidence that we are moving to the downside. There is a little gap up here which hasn't closed, so that could also happen. And you'll probably find that that gap is sitting at a Fibonacci level. There's a 61.8 Fibonacci level right over there. Okay, so there is a lot of sort of range-bound price action in the last 3 weeks. And you can see how pretty much up, down, up, down, up, down. Lots of confusion, big up, big down, big confusion. That's exactly what's transpiring at the moment. And ultimately, for the level that we're looking to actually go for a decent swing to the downside is 22,938. Okay, but until then, we need to pay attention because something will happen shortly. Even if this forms a range for the rest of the year, and we just bounce up and down in this range, I think the Australian market did it a couple of years ago, where almost 18 months that it just sat in a range, and the predictability of trading at range was so great that you were shorting off the top and long off the bottom and just letting it run. So that could actually transpire. I don't see us breaking past this all-time high here. it's not an all-time high, sorry, but the current high of the last couple of weeks, I really don't see us breaking above it. And the next thing to pay attention to is if we do break below 22,938, we have a head and shoulders pattern as well. Okay, so let's just get down to the hour here. And I want to just delete all the noise I put in. There we go. Right, so now on the hour, we can see the relevance of that diagonal trend line at the moment. Okay, breaks, retests, retest, and we've had two, we'll call it three retests that we had between yesterday and this morning. Okay, so we had the breakout there, and we had a retest. This retest was down to a level on the hour. There it is there. If you look left, interaction, interaction. I look further left, and a little bit of interaction, nothing much there, but there's more interaction, there's interaction, there's interaction. Okay, so that was definitely an opportunity for a long, as your moving averages were pointing up. You were warned that there was a level coming up, okay, but irrelevant. This big bar was basically based on some noise out of Germany, and then it kind of recovered, moving up to the 50% Fibonacci. So this level here, which is on the daily, if you have a look at that, we got above it and stayed above it for 5 hours. You closed above it and then stayed above it for another 5 hours, and then rejected it at the close. So is that a major level break, or is it a rejection? I think that's open to interpretation for depending on what style you're using to trade. For me, it's confused. I'm not really going to read much into that. What I'm looking at the moment is to see whether we are going to be rolling over or continuing this move to the upside. Okay. There is a little wedge here on the hour as well. There it is. Okay. I'm back onto a level, and that level is the diagonal support. And then the last thing that we want to do is clearly this area here is something we need to pay attention to on the hour. Okay, you can see a bit of interaction there, bit of interaction there, bit of interaction there. So resistance, resistance, support, support. Okay, just make that unselectable. So if you look at that, that's pretty much what I'm looking for on the intraday at the moment. So a break below 23,765. I want to see a break and a retest of that level. That'll bring me back down into this area of congestion. And yeah, what do we say? I would pretty much target the top of this congestion here rather than the bottom. Not a massive trade, I suppose. 160 points. And the other thing that I would be looking at is, I'm not sure whether I'd want to be on the break of this level here, but I'm going to just bring it down to here, because I'd want to see a break of 24,018 and a retest of that. That may give me the gap close up there, which is where the 61.8 Fibonacci of this last move is. But yesterday's price action is very choppy, as you can see, up, down, up, down. So big ups, big downs, big ups, big downs. And now the other thing that we're doing is we're rejecting the 150 EMA. Okay, so looking at the structure I see here, I'm actually looking for shorts. But my problem with looking for shorts right now is my next level to the downside, with 23,584, is fairly close on a break. So I'm not 100% convinced that we may get a small little scalp down to the downside here, but that's about it from what I can see. There are wedges forming everywhere. So there's a wedge there. Okay, so this move up, wedge, and then this move down, not really a wedge, but more of a channel, but I suppose you could argue that that is a wedge as well. So this move down, we've retraced to the 50% Fibonacci, we've broken through the structure, we've come back and we've tested. Okay, so there are multiple plays at the moment. So I think for me, European Open is probably the one to watch to see what's going to transpire. If we do break below this, then so if we do break below here, 23,765, and that will be on the 15-minute chart, guys. So break through that, then I'm looking at 23,576 as a target area. I think what the strategy would be just to move stop to entry as soon as possible and watch what happens, because ultimately 23,366 is one of the major areas I'd like to see us break, and then the next area that I want to see us break is going to be this area here of 22,924. But you can see there's a lot of buying happening in this area here. Okay, so yeah, so you're going to have to put all these levels in. You can see this is another pretty important level, 23,162. And what I want to see is I want to see price move all the way through these levels. You've got a 150 EMA in here as well on the 4 hour, probably on the 3 hour as well. Yeah, right there. So it's going to be tough going on unless we get some kind of a catalyst that's going to move us down or up at the moment. Okay, so that's kind of the plan of action for the downside. So we need to get below 23765. Sorry, 23765. 23765 is the area we need to break through. Okay. To the upside, we want to get a higher high. Okay, so we've got a level here, which is the same level we're looking to break the downside. But to the upside, I'm looking for a break above this high, which is 23,950. Again on the 15-minute chart. And then what I'm doing is I'm looking for, I'd like to see a retest of that. I don't want to just see a break. There's two areas of resistance here which may take us out. So I want to see a break. I want to see a pullback, a retest. I want that retest to hold. And then take the long. The long that I'll be looking for is pretty much into 24,242. Okay, if that level holds, then you pretty much have a potential measured move, which would then take us right the way back to the top here. And I wouldn't play it all the way up to there. I'd play it up to this major resistance level of 24428. Okay, so that's kind of the view at the moment, and if we just make that blue, and we make that blue, and then we can just get down to 15 minutes and confirm that strategy. Oops. And blue. Okay, so those are the two levels we're looking to break out. Break it to the upside, we're long. Break it to the downside, we're short. The short is a bit risky because we do have another significant level fairly close. Okay, so just get down onto the 15 minutes here, and you'll see the structure forming here. So there's my story of three tails off a level, 3 attempts to get through, failed, up, back, retest, up. Okay, so that's in play here. You can see again the interaction at that area on the 15, interaction here on the 15. Look at there. Okay, resistance, support. So those are the two intraday levels that we should be watching for. Okay. So yeah, that's it for me today, guys. Wouldn't be what I'm not really looking to trade this now in this late in the Asian session, but definitely something worth looking at during the European session. I think one of those two levels will go today, and the question is, are we going to make another attempt up here, which does make sense, or are we going to just roll over? And you can see all the moving averages starting to group together here as well. And that is also a signal that you need to be careful. Look at your stochastics on the 15-minute, below the zero, which means we're in a downward trend currently, and that's on the 15-minute. Look at my stochastics starting to get the top to group again on the 15-minute. So, yeah, right now, my bias is more to the downside than it is to the upside. Okay, anyway, guys, that's it for me today. A bit long-winded, but hope it helps, and we'll catch you later. Cheers for now.